welcome viewers.
Well, yeah, welcome to Right Foot Down After Dark. We're going to talk about the North American International Auto Show.
In Detroit.
In Detroit, which is right there.
Yeah, that's actually Canada, if you can see.
Some of that's Canada, but yeah,
Detroit.
We're in Detroit.
We're in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's nice, it's cold.
Nice and cold.
Bring a jacket. So, Kobo Center.
Kobo Center, huge.
How's it compared to other auto shows? I know we can speak to DC.
Yeah.
Nation's worst
No.
auto show. Maybe
Hold on.
Kansas City.
Maybe Kansas City, right?
Yeah, Kansas City Auto Show is not very impressive.
How about DC's the worst auto show that tries?
Hmm.
It puts out
Does Kansas City try? Or are they just sort of like, yeah, we got some cars.
Best foot forward.
I think the majority of the Kansas City cars just come from local dealerships, so...
Yeah.
That's what they do in DC. And they probably do that here as well.
I'm sure some of that's the case, yeah.
But
Save some money.
maybe Porsche says, no, not this year, guys. 9! Yeah.
But
Speaking of-
compared to New York, I mean, this is bigger and better in most ways, but New York is fun too. I mean, it's in Manhattan, it's in downtown, so
Yeah.
it's
What's supposed to be the biggest auto show in the U.S.?
Supposed to be this one.
Supposed to be this one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This
Was
is,
it? I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
the North American.
We can compare it to New York and D.C. and Kansas City.
It's,
Obviously, and it's bigger than all of those.
Right.
yeah. So as far as we're concerned, it's the biggest.
Last year's was better, right? Wouldn't you say?
Probably some more bigger reveals. And 2
Yeah.
years ago, I think we weren't here, but it was bigger then.
Yeah.
Just from the Ford GT, and there was some really major like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened kind of moments.
Yeah.
This year, I think the biggest, oh my god, I can't believe that happened was the Bronco, and
Yeah.
it
didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
And then,
yeah,
so if there were going to be any unveils, you would think it would happen at Detroit of all. It wouldn't be New York or
Right.
definitely not anything smaller than that.
another consumer electronics show.
Yes,
Or
yes.
CES?
LA Auto Show.
But LA
Is LA supposed to be
LA's
better
gonna be-
than New
I
York?
mean,
no.
Yeah, no.
That's in New York or Detroit.
Than New York. Never
Maybe-
done how
New York
comparable.
Would, New York would say no, right?
Never, and LA would say no.
It's the center of gravity of the entire
Yeah.
world, right?
It is.
I mean, LA, to its credit, is actually getting much bigger, more interesting reveals every year. So
Yeah.
we'll have to kind of wait and see.
Yeah. And so speaking of that and unveils and presents, automaker presents this year,
Yeah.
there was no Porsche,
No,
no Lamborghini, no Ferrari, no Maserati, no
Mini
who was it?
Cooper.
No Mini, no Mini.
yeah.
No Scion, but we knew that was coming.
Well,
Well, too soon. No Saab. I mean, if you're gonna go there,
Yeah.
no Pontiac. I mean, it's sorry.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing to some of those.
Yeah, those are all
Yeah.
people that were here last year. So we're looking at a very specific sort of downturn in the course of 12 months. Of just people that thought this wasn't worth being at. And I mean, much like Fiat Chrysler not doing a press conference, maybe they just didn't have anything, especially a small, not small volume, but small number of vehicles that a lot of those companies have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just maybe didn't have anything to show. I don't
Well,
know.
they did one at CES. That was their
Porsche?
Fiat
Oh,
Chrysler.
Fiat Chrysler, yeah.
They did a
Autonomous
big
minivan.
reveal. Yeah, they did a big reveal there, and then nothing for here, which is this is their
not
hometown.
Even,
This
not
is-
even a press conference, yeah.
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 Yeah, so sometimes I kind of look at this as, why do I go to an auto show? I can go to a dealership and see all of these, right? But if you're in this
Yes.
area, it's convenient that you can see everything at one place. You can't drive them, of course. But
Yeah, and ideally things that are beyond the dealership, right? Ideally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some things. Yeah.
Yeah, you hope, but not always.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's not a bad time. If you're in Detroit, it's worth it.
Yeah, maybe a little further, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Canada.
You might drive from what, Lansing?
Lansing, you know,
Flint,
Windsor, I don't know. If you have a passport, it's fine.
or that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we did see. So
Mm-hmm.
unveils. We got here Sunday night.
So,
Yeah.
And pretty much drove straight to the Kia unveiling,
yeah.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
we knew was going to be the
Stinger,
Stinger.
which you always get wrong.
I always get wrong.
What do you call it?
Sprinter.
A Sprinter. That's not the same vehicle.
Hyundai Sprinter.
It's your cargo van.
Yeah, right. And Hyundai and Kia are different companies, but
It
the
is.
same parent company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I knew that all along.
It was probably the biggest unveiling
It
of
was.
all
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah,
Easily,
anybody
easily.
that's talking about NAIS
Yeah.
is talking about
NAIAS.
NAIS. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
talking about the Stinger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How many people asked us on social media or other places? Hey, what'd you think of it in person? Like that's
It's a
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
You know,
It's at least the most interesting reveal, if not necessarily.
Easily. I mean, they didn't just strap some Brembo brakes on a sedan. They had like a
you
full-on,
had reputable
legitimate-looking.
designers, engineers on the suspension,
Germans.
the chassis.
Yeah.
If you
Lots
guys
of
don't know,
Yeah.
with Albert Bierman, who was responsible for developing the M3 and the M5.
He was
Hands-on with the Stinger.
M division engineer for 30 years.
Who else? If you're going to build a sedan, who else are you going to
Sports
get?
sedan.
A sports sedan. Who else
Yeah.
are you going to get?
It's not the new Camry.
And then
Yeah.
you have
Nothing.
somebody responsible for
Peter-
Audi's design.
Peter,
design?
Peter Schreier was Audi's design. He is responsible for the Audi TT,
Yeah.
which is known as one of the most iconic
And the
designs.
A6, right?
And the A6.
So you can see a bit of that with the
Oh, certainly.
Kia.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
It's-
they
But
call it a
it's, it
Sportback.
is,
Yeah.
he didn't do wrong.
Oh
No, if
no,
you're
no.
going to trace a design, I'm not saying you did, but if you're going to copy design out,
And
it's certainly
Well, we
not
were,
a bad place to
This
start.
is true.
Yeah.
and we were talking about it before we even got here. We were saying, okay, we're going to a Kia event. They're going to unveil something cool. And we were talking about
Maybe.
what it's being supposed to be a sports sedan. We already had an idea what the name was.
Yeah.
And I think I said that, if they're going to come up with a sports sedan, it needs to impress. It needs to have performance. They can't half-ass this
Yeah.
and expect people to buy it up. It
Yeah.
has to have the Brembo brakes, which it did.
That's it. They were red.
Adaptive sport suspension was. What did Albert? I thought it was adaptive sport suspension. What Albert?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I do remember him talking about the 5-link.
The
Watch-
5-link.
Watch the
And-
interview.
Yeah, there you go. Just
Yeah.
watch the interview. But
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
going to be impressive. You're going to have a 4-cylinder turbo, a 6-cylinder turbo, and from him, 255 horsepower for the 4,
365.
365 for the 6,
Yep.
5.1 to 60.
5.1 to 60.
You
You
know,
have
yeah.
the 8-speed all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive with a mechanical limited slip differential.
And something
So-
I learned today is that's the first time Kia's ever offered all-wheel drive or
Or-
rear-wheel drive.
And you can get the mechanical limited slip on the 4-cylinder.
Both engines.
Oh.
It's an option on the 4,
Right.
and it comes on the 6.
All right, I'm going to magazine race for a second.
Yeah.
5.1 is not slow, but I'm a big Giulia fan. The base Giulia,
Mhm.
280 horsepower. So we're talking 85 less. Also the same.
35. 255 to 30 horse. 280 to
280.
255?
The base
Not
Giulia
even
is
25
Base
horsepower.
Giulia is 280.
Yeah.
280 to
To
365.
No.
No, base
The
Giulia.
force- yeah.
Base Giulia to upper level GT.
Okay, so
same.
yes,
Yeah.
365 to 280.
85 horsepower
85
difference.
horsepower.
Same 0 to 60. Are we talking weight issues? I mean, I know the GT. It's a Stingers. It's a GT. GT's
I
in the
would-
name.
Yeah, I would
But-
imagine that the Stinger is a bit
Okay,
heavier.
heavier. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna find out, and
But the
we're gonna find
Stinger's
out.
also meant to hold probably more stuff.
It's a GT.
It's a GT, exactly.
Yeah, and it's got the hatch, which I like.
Yeah.
Right.
We looked in the hatch today.
So we'll
I
see.
thought
But
it-
we-
Yeah.
And we're talking Italian, pure, thoroughbred sports car
Yeah,
company.
you're
versus
buying an Italian car
a
versus.
Hyundai, like a.
Right.
We don't want to say
a car-
budget, but
Yeah.
for the money, holy shit.
Let's find out.
40,000. Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
I mean,
And a
I mean,
10-year warranty, 100,000 mile warranty.
The one to get's going to be the 4-cylinder turbo with the limited slip. I feel like. I mean, that's the enthusiast budget
Yeah.
bargain. If you're going
Depends on
bargain,
pricing,
you're
yeah.
going enthusiast.
it's pricing
The
dependent.
question I have is if Kia is doing like what Hyundai has done in the past, where they'll build a turbo engine. You look at the first gen Genesis Coupe.
Right.
where everybody thought, hey, it's the same engine that came in the Evo, right? It looked the same, and people were boosting or turning up the boost on the Genesises, and then the engines, it's not the same. So
Yeah.
are they?
What's
you
the
know,
internal? What do the internals look like? And-
What are the exactly?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, the questions we asked about aftermarket and ability to tune and change and bump up performance.
It sounds good
Very
on
TBD.
paper.
Yeah. It sounds
sounds
very
good on
TBD.
paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what happens when the aftermarket gets a hold of that car?
Yeah.
How much is it going to sustain?
Right.
What happens when you put your right foot down?
And what happened?
Yeah.
Hey, is that a Track Monkey T-shirt?
That is a Track Monkey T-shirt.
Oh wow,
Nice.
that's really nice.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
TrackMonkeyApparel.com.
TrackMonkeyApparel.com.
Seamless integration.
Seamless integration.
I imagine if I was in front of a computer right now, I might
You
wanna,
might
You
visit.
might visit that.
Yeah.
They have more shirts than that. Very cool shirts, I would imagine.
RFD t-shirts.
They carry RFD T-shirts.
That's new.
RFD T-shirts. You can now get them at Trunk Monkey.
That's different.
Trunk monkey is different.
That's a different thing. Stop pimping other people's shit.
TrackMonkeyApparel.com. Get your RFD tees.
And see.
Hmm.
What's next?
V6. The V6 though.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the V6 turbo would be a little bit more robust. And if you're going to plan on adding
Yeah.
some power to it,
Good point.
the V6 is probably the safer bet.
Correct. Twin turbo.
Was
Turbo.
it twin?
Twin turbo.
Big
yeah.
single or
Is it?
twin?
That is, yeah, I'm pretty positive it's a V6 twin turbo. So that is a severely underboosted engine
Oh, yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
if it's only making 365.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do that without a turbo.
I mean, you could look at
They're
what's
being-
the Ford engine that's in the EcoBoost V6. That's 365 or
That's a
385, but that's a V6 3.5
Same-
liter
yeah, same-
twin turbo. So
Yeah.
it's,
Couple.
hopefully it would be able to put up the same numbers and all that as the Ford engine.
You think?
Yeah. Anyway,
Moving on.
the Kia Sprinter GT is
Stinger.
definitely- God
Stinger.
damn it.
Sprinter's a van.
Mercedes, isn't it? Is it?
I would like to
City's
see a GT version of
This is
Oh.
That,
Kia
I would
Stinger.
buy that. GT minivan or
Yeah,
van.
It's not mini then.
It's a cargo van, whatever.
That's where the money's going.
Kia Stinger GT.
There you
Yeah,
go.
wait, out later.
Monkey fucking
Out later
couple.
this year.
It's fall 2017.
So we should see it.
Yeah.
We should see it.
I think it's in
before
October
Christmas.
this year, so
Yeah.
that's showrooms. That's
Put
not
a
bad.
put a bow on one of those in your driveway.
Yeah.
And I didn't
So-
get to learn any of this because I was on a plane somewhere over the Midwest.
Yeah,
So,
but you got to see it.
You get to see it in multiple colors.
this is true.
We just saw it in red initially.
Would you? I like the gray. I don't know.
So they had the gray, the red, the blue. The blue
Yeah.
metallic. They were all good
Blue-
colors.
they were all good,
Oh,
yeah.
blue,
Yes.
yes.
Blue,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The gray is a little understated, but looks
Yeah, it was
really
like
good.
gray, a little white. It was an interesting
It's,
shade.
it's an odd shade of.
It was a little like the Focus RS comes in that gray. It's a little bit lighter.
It's
than
lighter
that.
than that gray,
It's
yeah.
lighter
Yeah.
than that, but
Similar.
it looks good. It
Yeah.
shows off those body lines very well.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know you like that.
What else was impressive that was new?
From a debut standpoint,
Audi SQ5.
No.
No.
Uh,
Anybody?
okay.
I mean-
Focus RS. Anybody? Am I?
No.
I don't know if I count that as new.
It's all new.
No.
Engine.
New as of the show.
the SQ5.
The SQ5 was interesting that it had the V6 turbo
Yep.
with 364 or three. I think it was like about 350 horse and
350.
about 20 more foot-pounds of
Yeah.
torque.
Yeah.
But the 8-speed transmission, Brembo's.
No
Oh, didn't it
Brembo
Brembo?
brakes. It had the trick all-wheel drive, so it could just like in the Focus RS,
I
it
feel
could
like it had
send
Brembos.
100% of the torque to either of the rear wheels, like the almost the exact same
So,
Focus RS.
Yeah, it's torque vectoring in
torque
the front,
vectoring. Yeah.
mechanical in the rear, center locking differential,
Yep.
and it was air ride, so you can adjust it 30 millimeters
Up
up,
and
or
down.
down.
Can
so
it look
you
like
know,
this?
probably not quite like that.
I'm not interested.
Hatchback though, 5-seater, cargo room, 8-speed,
It's-
8-speed
it's
automatic.
not a
It's an
Focus RS
SUV. It's
competitor.
an
Okay.
SUV.
No.
It's an SUV. It's
Um,
not an RS.
But SQ5. So the
Okay,
Q5.
all right.
All right.
Camry.
I'll drop.
Sure.
Camry.
Camry. Why are Camry?
What? Did you transition to the camera? Did you say?
I did.
Was Toyota even at the event?
No.
They
they
had
weren't.
that. They had that brand new Camry. You didn't see it? You
I
didn't
saw the
notice it?
quad. I saw the quad
Maybe it just
tailpipes.
didn't-
I did like the quad chrome tailpipes. That's pretty baller.
That looked like
was-
somebody took a '96 Camry and added like bazooka tailpipes to the back. Like, that was so tacky.
And then you get
And
a
America's best-selling car.
Lexus,
that was
totally
everywhere.
from Lexus with the
I mean,
IS style.
grill.
Yeah,
It's
grill.
very
Yeah.
kind of IS RC.
So looking at the red one they had, which was it used to be an XE or SE. Now it's like an XSE. They changed the name a little bit. That was a sporty one. But then you look next to it at the hybrid, the silver one.
Yeah.
None of the aggressive styling
No.
cues were there. It was almost like they took everything that I thought was interesting about it, the quad tailpipes, the
Everything.
little scallops under the brake lights.
Gone. Next
The,
to
gone, yeah.
Mm.
But you also have to think the majority of their
Yeah, I
demographic
know, I don't want that
probably don't want that. Like it's too busy,
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
too aggressive.
Right.
Toyota.
Is there any other reason to talk about Toyota?
No,
Okay.
I can't think of any.
No.
Yeah.
Most surprising vehicle that we saw. This could be different for everybody.
It could be.
It probably isn't.
It could
I
probably
wanted
isn't.
to. I wanted to see the Honda Civic Type R.
Yeah.
That, if I saw that, I would have been like, "Whoa!" You know, like
Just the fact you the surprise of seeing it in person.
yeah,
we already kind of
it's
knew we know a
that
little bit about
enthusiast
it.
Halo car that everyone's talking about right now. And
What'd you think of the SI?
I was glad the SI was there, and Josh and I, we talked to somebody about it, and they didn't know. They couldn't tell us horsepower numbers. They couldn't tell us
Right.
different if it had a limited slip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's stuff that we could probably guess just from history, like the
Yeah.
cars. And that red metallic paint, it is a lot of flake.
It's a-
it
yeah, no,
it's almost
flaky.
pink.
That is
Yeah.
a very bass boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like 80s speedboat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Johnson.
Yep.
I mean, it seems to be a thing though. Like the Focus RS we tested had. I mean, the blue is ridiculously metallic blue. The RCF, same thing. That actually looked like a bass boat in that orange color.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's talking about Toyota. It's something that's such a departure for them. It's so ridiculous and like ostentatious that I couldn't help but like it. But so I hope that Honda is showing some signs of life with the Type R and the metallic flake bass boat red, and we looked underneath at this single exhaust, and it actually was a really nice, purposeful looking dual exhaust that came into a single outlet. It was pretty well integrated. That's the concept. What that looks like on the real version, I don't know. But
I
Although
think
the fake vents on the front of it bring me down a little bit.
I know, like you look at a vent that's about this size, and it's a big black vent. From a distance, you're like, wow, that looks like it's purposeful. And they have 9 tiny little holes that are about that big in one of them, which I assume is for like an air intake type situation.
oil cooler or something.
It's some sort of a cooling process, and it's kind of a.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of manufacturers do that now. There's been Mustangs with fake hood scoops and
Oh, sure,
Challengers
right,
with
right.
fake
Even
hood
the
ones.
Stinger has the fake hood scoops.
what?
The Stinger.
A Sprinter.
Stinger. I see what you're doing there.
Hyundai Sprinter.
Hyundai Stinger.
Kia Stinger. Yeah,
Stinger.
yeah.
It has the fake hood vents as well.
Yeah, and not to keep going back to the Stinger, but that's probably my surprise of the show. If I'm going to toss one out there.
Yeah.
There were some elements of that I thought, and I'm not sure I'm going to blame the designer Peter, because I think there's some sort of things that have to make it sort of look Kia-esque, and there are some things on multiple Kias, and we spent 8 hours driving one here, that just sort of look a little tacked on. That was just past the front wheels.
Yeah, they
Right,
had that
yeah.
little chrome piece
Yeah, it's
right
almost
on
like a black
on the
chrome.
front of the fender, in front of the door.
Same on the hood. The little
Yeah.
accent features on the hood, which nothing functional.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like they're trying to make it look a little aggro, where any of the European competitors that they're going against wouldn't.
Right.
They wouldn't bother. You know what I mean? You wouldn't
Everybody
see-
else has moved past the fake chrome trim.
You wouldn't see that on a 3 Series. you
Like
know
the
what I
three
mean?
little like hooks that Buick used to do, or is it Oldsmobile? Who was doing that? You know what I'm talking about?
Buick,
On fenders?
the
Buick,
Buick.
LaCrosse,
Yeah, they had
Ross,
the
Lucerne, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you can buy those,
You can buy those
Stick
at,
them
like,
on my head,
AutoZone.
stick them on any car. You get in the zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pet boys.
I was surprised by the Singer Porsches.
Why?
But that they were there?
That
Or
they were
just
there,
that you could
yeah.
actually see them?
Some of it.
Yeah, that.
Porsche was at the
So
show.
Porsche,
Yeah.
yeah, that.
Decades later.
Because I mean, they're such a.
They're new cars.
They're new cars. They're a boutique manufacturer. They're
Amazing.
very expensive. They're
$500,000?
amazing.
Amazing.
They're $500,000, and yeah, they're
So
hanging in the air. They're
And
one
probably worth every penny.
and we're totally.
They strapped one to a looked like a half pipe.
The paint alone, the paint was like perfect on those
Yeah.
cars, and
The detailing in the interior was
the interior with that
it's-
like
that's ridiculous.
It was almost like,
It was like
a basket. It was a
or-
basket weave.
yeah, it's like a plastic. Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
The
I was-
detailing just on the dials and the gauges was. I mean, you see why
Yeah.
they're commanding the amount of money they do.
Because we walked by and you're like, those are Singer Porsche. I was like, no. And they're like, no, like, I'm pretty. I was like, I don't
Yeah, I'm
think so.
pretty
Like,
sure
why
that's
would they bring those, like, awesome Porsches here? Like,
Yeah.
but
So
they
the big
weren't.
revelation is the big surprise of the event
Porsche.
was a several decades old 911.
Yeah.
But there was not a Singer booth. They were at the Michelin booth,
They were at the
Yeah.
which I think is a really weird way to use Singers.
Thank you to the Michelin Man for.
I mean, yes, thank you for bringing them, but
yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
why?
that's an odd use of
well, I'm
a
sure-
couple,
I'm sure they paid for it.
$100,000 million worth of
Yeah.
ratified
Okay.
Porsche.
Yeah.
So we're getting kind of short on time here, so we're going to talk two things before we wrap up. And one we can spend a little bit more time on the other. Simulators.
Oh.
Don't go to the NSX experience.
No, it looks like it's a cool big like circular thing, like virtual reality, right?
Yeah.
We now know why they're not selling NSXs, because people go to this
Boring.
NSX experience and they're like, this is what it's like? No, I don't want to get. I'm not putting my money on
Let's try to
that.
blame that for not selling it as sexist. But you did it. I mean, what?
It was garbage.
It was
It was-
2/3 marketing.
You sit in this
seat.
seat with a
circular thing.
You got your virtual reality on, and you're
Yeah.
sitting there. And I don't know if you guys could see what I was
Yeah.
seeing.
We could.
Yeah. So it was.
Very
you saw the
bright.
car and the 4 little bubbles up there, and they said
You had to
like
look at one of
parts
them?
and whatever. Yeah, and you had to go through all of them, and then it says now you get to drive it, right? So
Ah!
you saw the steering wheel come up, and you grabbed it. I was
Yeah, just a little awkward.
yeah. And then it said go, and it was kind of strange. It almost looked like you were on a runway with these hoops over it. It almost reminded me of some sort of video game that's like a time
Sonic the
trial.
Hedgehog.
Tunnel.
Yeah.
like-
But it was just this long straight with a slightly sweeping right turn, and you'd see the gauge cluster and the speedometer would
Ridge
go
Racer.
up to Ridge
Yeah,
Racer,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was like you had to beat the timer to get to the next checkpoint,
Yeah. Only
but it was the
You never
most
turned.
boring thing I've
you
ever
never turned the
done.
wheel.
And
No,
and
barely.
it was like 10 seconds. Maybe.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
that.
I'm sure the
Probably less.
NSX does not get to 190 in 10 seconds, but according to the speedometer, it hit 190. It
Nice.
said, "Oh, there's a brake pedal." Hey, why?
Did you not use it?
know.
In case you get scared.
Yes, I'm-
Speaking
and
of
Kiss-
useless break.
Whoa. the Hellcat.
The Challenger Challenge.
Yeah, at it was Bondurant sponsored, right?
Bondurant sponsored in the Dodge booth. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically Challenger with a bunch of servos rigged up, and so you sit
A real
in
Challenger
full-size
Hellcat.
car,
Yeah.
and so as you accelerate, turn, all that, the whole car
And it moves
moves
back and
around a
forth. It
little
loads
bit.
up on corners.
Yeah, so
you
you're
can feel
using
it.
the real wheel, real pedals.
Yeah.
Very cool concept.
But
Brake pedal does
nothing.
basically nothing.
I was standing on it,
Yeah.
trying to slow down, and I would either slow down, 40 yards before the turn and just kind of grinding my way through it,
Right.
or I hit the wall.
Maybe this is Bondurant's way of thinking that you really
You're a
need
crappy
to go-
driver.
You are a crappy driver, and you need to go to
come
their
learn this
school.
shit.
Ooh,
That's
like-
that's
Of all the conspiracy theories, that's not
that's
terrible.
valid.
That's not terrible.
And I don't think this happened when you did it, but when I did it, they somehow messed up the calibration on the wheel. So to be going straight, you had the wheel at about 170 degrees off center. So not totally upside down, but just a hair off of upside down.
Okay.
So
So
which
it's
makes,
driving an older car out of alignment, basically.
yeah, which makes it really
not a good
difficult
image for
to
my
figure when you're straightening
700
it out of the
horsepower
corner.
car.
it is a
Yeah.
Dodge though.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
this
well-
is an accurate depiction
I think this
of
could be
the
analogous
Hellcat on the
of
track.
driving a Helicat on the track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
It's
just
all- It's all over the map.
Yeah.
The brakes do nothing,
Yep.
and you're just gonna hit a wall and
That
die.
might be what it's like.
So what was there something better? Did you guys have anything better than
The,
that?
the Hyundai.
The GT.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So there
yeah.
was a Gran Turismo 6 set up with the steering wheel and
Yeah.
the pedals, and there was no
Did it-
shifters, all automatic.
did it move
You know,
around?
everything's all pedal shifted. No,
No.
it didn't move around,
That's
but
okay with that.
it
That's a-
looked good. You had the
Yeah.
in-cockpit view, and you had a little bit
Yeah.
of feedback through the steering wheel.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, it
know
would have been
we-
nice to have some G's or
Yeah.
whatever, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's always everybody thinks you're a great driver, and they're like, I'm going to set the fastest time,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
you know,
No,
it doesn't
not so
happen.
much.
But
What was it?
And
Was
we
it
know-
a Hyundai car?
it
What
was a
it?
Genesis coupe. It was,
Genesis
it
coupe,
was one of
okay.
the older Genesis, first gen. I'm pretty sure it was the first,
First gen,
Genesis.
yeah.
Like a Tiburon?
Genesis coupe.
Oh, Genesis. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the
No,
record
it's
is a minute 27. See if you can beat that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. So I did a 130.
And at least we know we
I did
had
a
a-
131.
That was
That's-
good. That's really good.
that's
Yeah,
solid.
That is solid.
And we knew we had a good driving interface with Gran
Yeah, I
Turismo,
mean, it's-
Yeah.
which is
it's-
you know we
it's
know
Gran
it's-
Turismo.
It's
we
good.
know-
Everybody knows Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it's better than Forza. We got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we understand that.
All right. Quick spoilers of
Thanks, Sam.
Spoiler alert.
maybe spoilers, or let's just go around the manufacturers that were there.
Yeah.
So
that's
you,
it,
you walk in depending on the floor.
Yeah.
Second level, we walk in. You got Mercedes on the right,
Yeah,
Audi on the
Audi on
left.
the left.
Audi, you're greeted by a
Oh.
gorgeous
Ridiculous.
blue R8
Ooh.
R8 V10 Spider
Beautiful.
with that
Beautiful.
with
that
that
thing makes me weak in the knees. It's,
with that
it's-
Tan interior.
tan or camel, whatever
Something,
whatever
just
Audi calls it.
suede,
It's
yeah.
Something slightly sexual.
gorgeous
yeah,
color
yeah,
combo.
yeah.
And next to that, they had these like a
Silver.
frozen silver, frozen gray coupe
Yep.
V10 plus.
V10
V10.
plus.
Oh.
Okay.
So 610
Plus.
horsepower.
Yes.
Versus
Good for that, and-
560
yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Why not?
Arguably the car to have over the Huracan.
Very similar cars.
Very
Yeah,
similar.
very
It's a little bit longer.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
So you get a little bit more higher speed
Grounded to the
stability, and
Yeah.
it's probably a little
Cheap,
bit cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It is cheaper.
And
Yeah.
it still looks freaking
Arguably
amazing.
pretty
And-
close
yeah.
to.
And
And
Audi
so they-
races an R8 in one of their
GT3?
Yeah,
their
and-
GT3. Yeah.
Great
Lamborghini
car.
does. We got
Sound. It's not the engine.
Yeah.
You get that fantastic, just brilliant V10
Yeah.
sound. So no matter which way you go,
Yeah.
sorry.
If you're looking to invest your money,
Yeah,
in
if
an
that's
Audi,
your thing,
it's not the
And,
worst
and
thing
I
in the
still
world.
maintain that Audi has the best interiors in the business.
they are
I'd
arguably.
be-
With the virtual
I'd-
cockpit.
arguably.
I'd have a hard time, yeah. And
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
the virtual cockpit was a little gimmicky. Then I drove it in the TT, and I'm like, it's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
They do this quasi 3D navigation view, which
Okay.
basically looks like you're driving down the street, and you're like, "That's the street I'm on," and you just like, you can see literally like I turned after this building, like it's
There it is.
it was it's pretty impressive.
So we had Audi, and then you had BMW, and BMW unveiled the new 5 Series.
Yep.
Big sedans,
Yep.
they tossed out as many big sedans as possible.
Mhm.
The M760i xDrive as well.
Yeah.
They claimed it was the first 7 Series with M Performance, not to be
7
confused
Series?
with an M7, which
Yeah.
doesn't exist
Yeah, right.
really. I mean,
Why? Yeah.
They made it
Why
sound-
would you want a 7 Series with M performance?
Why not?
Why not?
That's your luxury car. That's your.
Yeah, but-
that's why you have that. You have your little guys for your sports. The big guy is for cruising. It's your competitor to the S class.
Yeah, but
It's an
it-
S class competitor. So the S
Right.
class is very luxurious.
But
Yeah,
they,
and there's
but
an
they had
AMG
the fast
version.
one.
Yeah, there's an AMG version.
Everybody needs a
There's
couch that'll do 200 miles an hour.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
like
but-
a Bentley.
There, I mean, the 7 Series has always been lagging behind things like the RS7, the S63 AMG. I mean, you're talking, 800 horsepower, twin turbo V12, ridiculous cars. If BMW could sell those, like, isn't that why
Yeah.
Alpina and
Yeah.
some of these companies exist? Like,
Which
which
are amazing.
you've driven one,
I
right?
have.
Yeah.
And nothing
B7?
B7 and
Yeah.
nothing that size should drive like that. Like it doesn't make sense. There's
You're wrong.
no reason to build it ever.
I'll
agree to
stand
that.
by my
But-
that it should not still be a thing.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
All right,
Because
moving on.
the M badge doesn't mean much.
It does
anymore
not
either.
the.
So
yeah,
that's-
not-
so
don't-
I
don't-
don't
don't
think
get
it
us-
is.
I know.
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
Josh.
I'm not gonna-
I don't.
Next to BMW, he had Alpha,
Alpha,
which had the
wow.
4C and the Giulia and the Stelvio.
Stelvio.
I liked I
All
like
three.
Julia
I mean,
Nothing not to
in
like.
pictures, but seeing it in person is just Alpha Julia.
Julia. I mean,
Julia.
I'm a big Julia fan. I've actually looked at quasi seriously buying one. People complained about the base model a little bit. I liked it. I thought it was nice materials. You know, I think for the price,
Yeah.
it's as fast as a Stinger GT.
Yeah, I think we kind of did talk about that earlier.
It's a
It's
stunner. It's,
Alpha, yeah, it's pick a car, pick an Alpha. Throw a rocket in Alpha.
You're
and
not
take
gonna
it.
lose.
Yeah,
You're not gonna lose.
You're winning
Yeah.
right there, no matter
Yeah.
what you do.
All right.
Another surprise.
GAC.
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 I said, what?
What's this?
What is this? GAC.
GAC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
And there's
stands
like that goo that falls on you in one of those Nickelodeon shows.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I told you, bro.
What is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
You like
yeah.
pull it, stretch it.
Yeah.
That's a good reference. I like
So,
that. Yes.
so it's a Chinese automaker.
It is.
Wow.
And it didn't
And-
look that derivative.
I didn't see
No.
tracing paper anywhere.
I
Tracing
know,
paper,
that,
yeah.
that's what surprised me the most, that they were actually, you know...
I mean, it reminds
standing
me of
on
the Japanese, South Korean automakers that showed up 20,
Right. The
30,
SUV
40
did
years.
look G at
Uh,
Mercedes
uh,
G
X-
class.
X-
So you had a little bit.
Little
It
X6
did a
-ish.
little,
The red one?
The red one, yeah.
Yeah. There was a
But no, you're right. They were very.
But they
unique.
weren't carbon copies. And some of the other Chinese stuff that
Oh,
we've seen
blatant.
before,
Yeah.
Blatant.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is your Rolls-Royce
The,
Phantom.
the interior was straight Kia though, and Hyundai. Like I don't know if you guys stepped inside.
We were
that.
trying to
got
decide.
it.
There was a switch and button array that looked like it was lifted off of something.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what it
I
had come out
I
of.
couldn't think of it, what
Because,
what exactly
like,
it was.
it
But
was
it wasn't 100%
like-
original looking.
Chrysler or like maybe 10-year-old Mercedes, like something.
Yeah,
that, like,
But the touch points weren't terrible.
no, it was fine.
Probably worse.
It
Yeah.
didn't. It didn't.
However,
blow
You
me
know,
away,
you
but
know
it
what's
was
funny?
fine.
They could have made a Buick that sold, and Buick would still have nothing, be empty.
Was Buick there?
Buick was, sadly, Buick was.
Buick was there. People were not at Buick.
People were not at Buick. No, that's too bad.
It was.
They were-
It was very.
So we'll keep an eye on GAC. They are not.
Yeah. They're not in the US yet, but
GAC is the Kia of the '90s.
Yes.
Is that
Maybe.
is
Or,
that-
or,
Yeah.
they're wanting to be.
It'd like to be.
that is
They want to be-
aspirationally Kia of the '90s.
That's
Aspirational.
I mean, they're doing the same thing the Koreans did, which
Yeah.
is the same thing the Japanese did.
Yeah, a little derivative, but potential.
Yeah,
A little derivative, but coming in a little cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
TBD. Although of the 4 cars they had, 3 of them were locked.
Which does not fill me with a great deal of confidence.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe they should have waited for New York.
Maybe some of the
or-
glue wasn't quite
Why-
dry.
yeah.
Or, yeah. We'll see.
Did they say when they're coming to like a year or something?
I'm
was
not
it?
sure. I don't
like
think
that.
I don't think I got a time.
Most invasions,
the
you don't
date.
get a heads up.
It's like yeah. They don't want to let us know their war plans. So.
All right, moving on. What else?
Subaru
I mean,
refreshed
Subaru.
the WRX and STI. It's
Refresh.
yeah, it was bumper. Oh, there was a big thing with the
There was.
STI. The 6-piston Brembos is a worthwhile upgrade. They were still, I mean, 4 pistons
Yep.
have been forever on the STI, and now you're going to a 6. So people that just bought 2016 and 2017 WRX STIs are kicking themselves in the butt.
I posted it on my Facebook, and my buddy who has one was like, "Damn it!" Like, he said the Recaros was another thing he wished he had. So, yeah.
I mean, the 6-piston Brembos,
Yeah.
the Recaros,
Yeah.
you got
Which you
a
can get in
slightly,
the WRX now, right? New cars.
yeah, and that's the other thing. Now
Yeah.
you can get a WRX with Recaros
Yeah.
and non-sunroof as some
They're-
track enthusiast type of package, which I don't know if they've named it yet.
They're finally
They're
catching up.
calling
to-
it the performance package.
Performance package.
Yeah.
Point is, you can get Recaros and no sunroof in a enthusiast
WRX.
model WRX.
Something
That's
you
awesome.
It's still a good.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
something
we
you
still
get in
don't
a Fiesta
have.
years ago.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you could not get an FA engine in the STI yet.
Ah.
That, tractor engine, EJ, whatever, it's okay.
Also, big news in the STI is they took out the mechanical center diff,
yes.
and it's all
It's
electronic. So
electronic
the
center differential now.
DC
Is it now EDCCD?
ED. Yeah, oh, it's the ED. Yeah.
DCCD.
Yep,
Yeah.
so-
yeah.
Whatever the hell that does.
Either way, the STI is.
Yes, that's
The
really
STI is kind of
Subaru's
more
letters.
on my
Brand new,
radar than
brand
it
new.
previously
Acronyms.
was.
brand new Subaru.
Yeah.
But
I
Hey, I think it's cool.
I wish they would put that FA engine
They will.
in the.
2020. Call it.
When the Bronco showed up.
When the Bronco showed
When the
up.
Bronco showed
What
up.
a disappointment
Oh,
that was.
I literally sat there.
The spirits
It's-
collapsed.
I was here.
Sat there. There was not a literal gasp, an audible gasp, if you will,
Yeah.
as Ike would say. There was an audible gasp when they talked about historic nameplates, 4x4s, resurrection. A lady actually went, and we have it on camera. If you go back and look at the launch video,
Watch
that we
the
did,
video.
it is. And then I'm sitting there with my camera, and he's going through the whole thing. I'm thinking, goddamn thing's gonna drive on stage, and we're gonna lose our minds.
Nope.
Didn't
No,
drive on stage.
Bronco.
Nor did the
Nor did the Ranger.
Nor did the Ranger, the 2019 Ranger, and that's a car they actually have already built. And
That car exists.
the car exists in life,
Which
because the
means
Ranger
that-
does not.
Which means that you should see it by
Next
next
year,
and
next
a-
Detroit. I don't know.
yeah, Detroit next year.
That's bullshit.
I mean that
They
was
did show some taxis though, so
There's
and a couple transit vans.
transit
so.
vans. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to sit in the Ford GT.
Oh.
Yeah, the Ford GT.
Oh, that
They
was-
had the Le Mans.
Like,
They had the Le Mans
we didn't-
winning
we didn't-
Ford
yep.
GT
We didn't
there.
sit in that, but what was your
No.
favorite part of that?
That it's still dirty.
So dirty.
Yes.
Like
So
I
dirty.
love
Oh,
filthy
God.
race cars.
Bugs
like
splattered on it.
you know, I understand you got to keep them clean for sponsors, makes them happy.
Not
but
that.
No.
a race car at the end of an endurance race is the best it ever looks.
Oh,
it's
it's
just
amazing.
covered in
That's-
bugs and dirt
And
and
a tip
melted
to
tire.
Acura with your NSX. Open the damn door. Let us look inside.
Yeah.
When they opened it for us, when we got this kind of period,
Yeah.
you know,
You can sit in a Ford GT.
you can sit in a Ford GT.
But
you can sit
not
in it, but
an
not
NSX.
not an NSX.
Same
An
color.
NSX, you could buy. You can get an NSX right now.
Yeah.
You go to eBay, buy it now. NSX.
Yep. Done.
You can't get a Ford GT.
And you
No.
probably
But
never
you
will.
can sit in
No.
a Ford GT.
You sit in a Ford GT.
Not
Well,
an NSX.
I mean, our viewers hopefully will have the same luxuries we had as media.
I would assume.
So what else were you guys interested in? Ford GT.
Well, we talked about the Civic Si concept, which
Yeah.
was cool. It really would have been nice
It was
if
cool,
we could
huh?
have checked it out a little bit more.
Yeah, and be able to see the Type R. I mean, this is something they've already unveiled, and being able to see it and sort of poke at it
Push
a
some
little
buttons.
bit. Yeah.
Paint.
The track-focused Honda Odyssey. I mean,
Oh, the Honda Odyssey.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's,
You guys
that's a
have
track
got-
machine.
You need
Sure.
it's just,
good.
slight inside joke until you see the video. It was,
it does
Yeah.
have 50 more horsepower.
Does
wait.
it?
The new model.
50?
not
Same
the,
engine.
Not the one we looked at.
Not the, we looked at the wrong car.
We looked at- that was-
My fault.
That's
We
not
looked
the
at the
right
wrong car.
That's fine.
There-
Yeah, apparently same engine, 50 more horsepower.
You know what? I was surprised. So Mercedes had the AMG GTS,
Yes. Yeah.
and there was not a crowd around it.
No.
It was
No.
a bright yellow AMG.
The sea of
Just sitting
silver.
there.
And a sea of silver. They had
Yeah,
this
and the sea of, you could not miss
yellow. Yeah.
No.
it. And yeah,
And
Either
pretty much
the was the GLA 45. Never really
Yes.
saw anybody messing with that either.
Yeah.
what a
Ridiculous.
awesomely
Bonkers.
goofy
Ridiculous little
car.
car. Makes no sense. I love it.
And that is why I maintain that Germans do have a sense of humor. It's just really weird.
And they don't realize that it's human. That
Well,
it's
that may
Yeah.
be the case as well.
The Serpenter loves this. It's so fast and small. Why is it laughing? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, but that-
bad German.
A car that I feel like
Shut
does
up.
not get enough love
Yeah.
is, and maybe there's a reason for it, the ATS and the CTSVs.
Oh. Yeah.
I-
Why?
I love my my E92 M3, but if something happens to that, oh, I'm looking at a
Yeah.
secondhand ATS-V.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, it's,
I-
there's no better formula.
Why do they not put the V8 in there? I don't know. But I'll take it
Still,
with that twin turbo
Balls out
6.
fast, right? Yeah. Balls out fast, 6-speed, rear-wheel drive,
And-
nice looking car, aggressive.
Yep.
Okay.
Cadillac Q be damned. 6-speed manual.
Oh yeah.
Give
Yeah.
it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Sorry. A little-
anybody else? Anything?
V90 wagon. Just because
that.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
love
There you
the
go.
wagon,
Yeah,
and
alright.
I still maintain that Volvo makes the most comfortable seats.
seats specifically?
Seats.
Just
Their
seats
seats are
Specifically seats.
in their
Fantastic.
hospitality area or in their cars?
Well,
Maybe a little both.
So
a
you,
little bit of both.
so you
They
want
did
a,
have a very nice lounge.
so
They
you
did.
want a GLA with V90 seats.
Volvo.
Oh. Although the
Oh.
GLA seats were nice. I don't know if you got to go in there, but
But he claimed the V90s were the best.
they,
Yeah, that's the
The
best
same
seats
thing.
in the
I
car.
sat in the V60 Polestar in Kansas City last year. Love the seats in that too. Volvo does good seats, man. The Swedes.
Yep, and safety.
Safety, autonomy.
Safety first.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is basically what their press conference consists of.
pretty much.
is
Yeah.
Autonomy and nice, friendly Ford couple.
Right.
All right. Well, that
That's it.
was Detroit
That's
2017
Come on down.
North American International Auto Show.
2017.
Is that what I said? I said 2017.
You did. Yeah.
Okay.
Should.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
2017.
This is RFD After Dark, so
This is right for down
getting a
after
little
dark.
late. Right
It's a
now,
little dark. Couple drinks. Canada's right over there.
It is.
Whatever we need for it, right?
You know what I'm talking about.
What? All right.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.